class because we are sinners. That's what happened. So unless the people change, sometimes our constitution is no useful. It is civil procedure code or criminal procedure code. We have the best of the law of evidence, and we have the best of everything because we have made them according to the British system, which is one of the best system in the world, but it is not the problem with the system, it is problem with the people who administer the system. That's what it is. So traditionally Anglo-Saxon models, they work for that sort of people. Anglo-Saxon model is the best because it divides government into three branches, the legislative branch, the judiciary and the executive. It is generally accepted as a good check and balance. But yet in India, I sometimes feel that the balance is not maintained. I sometimes feel the legislatures go beyond. Sometimes I feel the executive branch goes beyond. Sometimes the judiciary goes beyond. And now I think the judiciary is having the upper hand. Everybody is afraid of the judiciary. Rightly or wrongly, I don't know, but it is. No, it should never be there. It should never be there. Yeah, it's going only for a short time. Yeah, right. The more powerful man came and, they can do. But they have done. When Jawaharlal Nehru was the Prime Minister, the land was all in the hands of what you call the rich landowners, thousands and 10,000s of acres. So government needed to take a lot of land over highways and buildings and all. So the whole matter of compensation became a very major thing. So government cannot, India was very poor, they didn't have the money. So government acquired land and compensation must be given. So the compensation was very, very huge. The court will always say that the compensation is not adequate, give more. So the parliament has passed a law. Courts cannot discuss entertain the adequacy of the compensation. The courts do not have the right to question the adequacy of the compensation. Whatever the parliament passes, it will be. So again they have taken land, the landowners went to the court. So the court said what? We are not asking the adequacy of the compensation, we are asking whether compensation is paid or not. You take a property that is worth 20 crores and you pay 5 crores. Is it compensation? So court said no compensation made. 20 crores property you took, you paid 19. Okay, we don't question it. 18 we don't question it. But you paid 5 crores? That is no compensation. Because the definition of compensation is what? You are taking something and equivalent is given, you are compensating. So government is back to their force to give money. So this, that is good. The court will interpret the law, that's good. But when court makes the law, that's when the problem comes. Courts are not there. The role of the judiciary is to interpret the law and to make sure that the law is served, righteously to all people, no discrimination of law and all that. The court is never made to make laws, but they made a lot of laws in recent past. Lot of laws, and that's they are going beyond. But the thing is that the government is not powerful enough to, the legislative branch, the executive branch really also is not powerful enough to question these things. So they have to abide by it. So they are all afraid of contempt of court and all these things. So, this is a problem. So the traditional Anglo-Saxon division is good. It is working and it should be working, but because our system is good, but the system is not working because the people who execute the system are not qualified to do it. What is wrong with democracy? Democracy is a government of the people, by the people, for the people. That's very good. But if people are ignorant of what is democracy, if people are manipulated emotionally to vote for certain group of people, so then what happens? The votes swing to the side where the able leader will, communicate the message wrongly or rightly. There was a time when the two oxen with a plow yoke was the sign of the Congress party. So there used to be some people say that the cow is sacred, therefore don't put ink on it. So, the election, don't put ink on it because it's sacred. The hand, you never put ink on your hand, So, they will say this way and that way, and all the emotion of the people will be, used. In a system like that, democracy cannot go. Democracy is successful only when every voter judiciously exercises his voting power, knowing what are the values for which this candidate stands, what are his fiscal policies, what are his other social viewpoints, and then he exercises vote. That's where. Among a group of people who are not able to make that judicious judgment upon the value of the candidate and the value of the party, the policies of the party, and all the fiscal policies of the party, the social policies of the party, and what democracy will do. That's why some systems said that no democracy, it will be oligarchy, it will be ruled by the elite, ruled by the few. Plato recommended that. The city-states, voting rights must be given only to the few, who are the most educated, sophisticated people. Average people should not be, Yes. So he wanted an ideal city-state, to be brought in. So he even said that only selected few will be allowed to procreate children. The healthy, intelligent people. Others should be castrated, What about that? Well, there is danger in every system, But among all, one-man rule monarchy or oligarchy ruled by the few, the elite, or by democracy, where the rule by the majority of the people. The problem with that one is, it is good only when this majority operates personally on personal merit. But where religion comes to play, for example, where religion comes to play a big role, then democracy is a failure, because you have one religion that is in majority. The votes go only on the basis of that one. They vote looking at the name, whether it is this religion, that religion, or this religion. So necessarily a person is not selected for voting because of its merit, but because of religion. So that's one of the problems we have. We have a country where, it's a secular state, but yet we know that when the election comes, religion play a great part in it. And that's the truth, that's the truth. Though government is trying to say that religion should not come and there should be nothing, this and that and all, but we all know that the undercurrent is there. So the minority, of course, the minority religions, they will not be even properly represented. Their views will not be even heard. So the whole question is there, So what the Christian view of human government? What form of government the Christian should recognize? The understanding, if a man's nature, man is a sinner, but he is created in God's image, therefore, any government that comes must recognize the dignity of every human being, even though he is poor or rich or whatever is. Nobody is untouchable because everybody equally is created in the image of God. Democracy is successful only where that principle is recognized. Where some are even, trodden down by others, either on the basis of their religious belief, or on the basis of their richness or poverty, or on the basis of their caste or creed, democracy will not be successful. But yet India is world's largest democracy. Well, I praise God for that, because, India is a democracy. Even though the democracy is not functioning as good as it ought to be, but it is a democracy. The process of election and the process of all lawmaking and everything is going through. Though our parliament is a pandemonium often, it's a shame that they are showing it on the TV. Because our younger generations are watching how to be a member of parliament, and you have to, what preparations you have to make. When a new man, MB, was elected in Britain, he asked one of the senior members, how I should be behaving in the parliament, first time I'm going. So he said, you keep behaving. When you are wrong, the speaker will be giving a ruling, the gavel will be going down, saying that. So you will, in a couple of months, you will understand how you have to behave. But here is the other way. Where are the people? They are not in their seats. On any issues, they are not in the seats. They are all in the... Yeah, they are. What are they doing? They are shouting. They are even the poor speaker. Man or woman doesn't make any difference. I think it's a sad sight. Pleading with people, please, member, honorable member, please. What please? Well, they are honorable, but they are not behaving honorably. If honor is to be given by behavior, how many will get that honor? If it's only by position, yes, everybody gets. So, the Christian, when he thinks about these things, definitely, it's a big question. The key check and balance principle is that authority should not be allowed to fall in the hands of a few. Authority must be carefully distributed among a large number of representatives. No government should concentrate power in a few hands. It is dangerous. The wider the authority is distributed, lesser the chance of abuse or misuse. So this is a guideline for the Christian to decide. In India, of course, as I said, thank God, our constitutional fathers have drafted a very good constitution, and there is no possibility for the government to fall in the hand of a few, because it's a federal system. The cabinet system, for example, in America it is a one man, the president. Although of course he has various people to help him, but here the prime minister, he is only chosen by the party, and he chooses the fellow ministers, but yet every department is taken care of, and there is a collective responsibility and duty. And also the prime minister cannot be a dictator unless, well, he could be, he could be. The prime minister could be a dictator, that depends upon the person and the personality, and also the followers, yes. Well, we have to wait and see many things. We have to wait and see many things. Indira was the strongest prime minister probably the free India had seen, and she was a very able prime minister, but yet we know in the emergency, what she had done. So that tells us that a prime minister could become a dictator if he wants. But then she suffered terribly in the next election. She learned her lessons. She was the best prime minister we had, except for that it tarnished her name, and she paid very dearly for that, and in many ways she was an excellent administrator, powerful administrator.